Well, hello there guys, and welcome back to the channel. Sup, Scott the Groot, sup Sohad, Archie, everybody else, welcome. Ever the critic. 1 minute late. Ooh. 1 minute. Okay, that's fine. I'll remember that. That is fine. But here we are. Here we are. Claim marks of these. Oh, here. Amanda. We have a daily quest to do as well, but I'll do that when I go to bed. Did I do the yesterday's one? Oh, let's get some more points here. You lovely people. Put on some boost as well. Make it a wee bit faster. Please do not help me here. Like, you need to get smacked about. Oh, 3 Titan Nexus and still the Colossal Nexus. Well, yeah, I think I have 2 Titan Nexus and Colossal one. And a whole bunch of shards too. I will open maybe 5 Titans. Yeah, I'm just trying to get Doctor Strange really, I think. Oh no, Blue Marvel too. Yeah, no, I'll open a few more. I don't know how many though. No, I'm after. Well, yeah, the Titan crystals have lost a lot of the shine over the last half a year, because we have had like this Titan crystal is worse than the previous one, and the next Titan crystal is going to be worse than the current one. You know what I mean? So, from Nexus first and decide. Do as you please, buddy. Do as you please. I'd probably recommend doing it the other way around though. Popping like 5 open and then doing the Nexus and then deciding. But that's just me, what do I know? And a crazy busy day in other jobs as well. Actually better editing. You're welcome. Yeah, exactly. Because Nexus is the only one where you have a choice, right? So if you pop open a bunch of regular ones, you're gonna likely get something that you're looking for, not everything. But then with Nexus you have that option to choose what's remaining. And headache schedule? What? No, I just well, first of all, like our company has to submit like all the tax forms and all that stuff like every 2 months, and so February just started, so I've been working a ton on them. We got in a big delivery with a ton of new product, which means new pricing and a whole bunch of admin work. Set it all up because it's like stock that we're taking in for the first time ever. So basically like everything that I had to do was, you know, finicky or more work intensive. And even now. Isn't. Of this. Next things are really interesting, yeah. One second, that's expected. Okay, so we're good now. We're good, I think. Yeah, we're good. Sorry about that. But yeah. Hi, brother. Hope you're good. Yeah, I am. But not good. Just a bit tired, buddy. Nothing special. All me being a little bit exhausted. But we still need to get the arena in. Because tomorrow we're going to be starting. Tomorrow afternoon we're going to get busy because we're going to have Alliance Coliseum. We're gonna have Solo Coliseum, and we're gonna have Elder Difficulty Quest. So things are happening. Am I right? Alliance Coliseum is tomorrow. I believe that Solo Coliseum as well is tomorrow. Gladiator, Professor X. Those are shit options though. But thanks for letting me know. But yeah, those are bad options. So you know 4 out of 5 mutants now. Good. Why did I think I was using Wolf? I don't know. Oh, but yeah, tomorrow we get Solo Coliseum 2 milestones in, so that's kind of nice. Need to check out what are going to be the next 2 milestones in Solo Coliseum. What's up, Camby? How you doing, buddy? Gentle? Who knows? Maybe. Alright, so. Tomorrow, we're gonna get that 7-star Nexus, 10,000 Titan shards, some Sig Stones, 2 tier 4 alphas, 1 tier 7 basic. Something. Tomorrow, the Radiant Star also resets. So that's gonna be nice. We can get 750 units immediately. What's up, Mr. MW3? How are you doing? Hope I am well. I definitely have been worse. I definitively have been worse. This is, I think, the first month where, in a while, because like for a bit, I just had like a very bad streak with a whole bunch of unexpected expenses and some of my income kind of like getting poorer and stuff like that. And I think this is like the first month basically where everything's kind of okay. Not like I have a ton of extra money or anything like that, but you know, all the bills are paid, the rent's paid, and you know, I'm kind of on top of things again, because I did go through like a rough 3-4 months basically. So I done a video and I have 100k Titan shards. I'm a casual player, fair enough. Yeah, a lot of people have a whole bunch of Titan shards now because the Titan crystal rotates so slowly. Dreading new Titan because I still need Gene, so you keep on opening the old one then. Because as soon as champion is out of the Titan crystal, it gets significantly harder to acquire. Yeah, no, quite happy with them. Like that's yeah, because I had a whole bunch of car trouble for my car and wife's car, and then had a few things break at home, and yeah, it just wasn't, you know, going great for a bit. I was staying up late at night worrying about money and such. Just mainly the car, to be honest. Next one does seem mad, but we don't know when, you know, whether the one after is going to be better. Exactly. That's what I'm going to do. I'm going to open like a chunk, see what I'm missing afterwards, and then I'll decide whether I want it or need it or not. Yeah, I'm probably gonna do like a chunk of 10, see what I get, open my nexuses, and then figure out whether I do want or need something. Oh, did she now? Kind of nice. Yeah, Lizard's actually quite good Zola counter, by the way. Hey, what's up, Sith? You wanna have a chat? It's a chill stream. Perfect time to discuss. How's prestige change to? If he was bottom 79, it would. Leaving work. Now I'm game. So, do you want me to call you? Just to be clear. Can I give you a bell now? Some Grindfield. I hope not. I never liked Gambit much. DLL said during his stream that Kabam considers defenders they made to not have achieved their goal of quote-unquote threading the needle. And he said this has caused a different kind of stagnation in BG. Absolutely it has. Because, you know, 20 champions just about in every meta are gonna be the same. Or like 18 champions. Because of the defenders. Yeah. It's kind of like, because Dark Phoenix exists, regardless of meta, you will have to run like, you know, 3-4 counters specifically to Dark Phoenix, and that's like a chunk of 4 champions that people will largely have the same. Similar to Serpent, similar to, you know, Captain Britain, stuff like that. So because of defenders that are so kind of like tight exist in the requirements to counter them, you don't really have a choice how the decks look like, because you have to have counters to those things. And because the counters are so few, most of the time they look exactly the same. Malcolm said champions because he also... Are you playing arenas? Yes, I am playing arenas currently because I want to get some units. Clyde, Taurus. And now I'm gonna give a call to somebody who's also playing Marvel Console Champions. Well, hello there, you old fart.
Hey, you old fart.
I'm alright.
That's so.
I'm getting by.
Is that so?
I can hear myself.
I can hear myself very loudly there.
Can't. What about now?
Well,
Can you still hear yourself?
no, we're good.
Okay. It was just my Bluetooth trying to connect to my truck.
Fair enough. Watch streak reach.
So-
Mason is currently in a three stream watch streak. Awesome. Thank you very much.
So the reason that I wanted to have a chat was because I didn't really feel like leaving a 2-paragraph essay on your comment section for the video.
Okay. Fair enough.
I have 2 bones to pick with the fact that you are a tad bit defensive in the BG brain rot when 2 times in that video specifically it showed up. The first time when you named off the important game modes, you named Battlegrounds first, which I'll give you. That can be debated. But when you were talking about clearing content and the revives in your stash, you had mentioned not your stash, but your deck.
Oh,
Just
yeah,
to
yeah,
show you.
I noticed that I corrected myself, I think. At least one of the times I corrected. I don't know if I did more than once.
You did. You caught it, but it was like, and I don't think that it is BG's brain rot. I think that it's upper echelon brain rot in a sense that, like, even when you were talking about the Wheel of Fate, like, you're like, oh, I'll just use 3 revives for Bullseye instead of ranking up the proper counter.
Mm-hmm.
But if you don't have a decent skill level, like, and you still want to do something, those rank ups could be beneficial.
Obviously, there are, like, different cases, and, you know, I can...
That's what I mean, though. Like, I don't think that the game's that big in a sense of, like, you're right, but the reason I was going to leave a comment was, even though I do think that you're right, I agree, but I also see that there's a lot of players that, especially down in like lower levels and stuff, that do not take those modes as serious, and they more go with champions that they enjoy, you know, maybe how they look, the character themselves is from the comic
like, don't
books.
get me wrong, like, I thought I kind of made the idea clear that is a video of a reflection of the way I see the game. Not everybody should or everybody does. It's like how I value the champions and like what's important to me and what isn't, more so, and what makes sense to me. Like, for instance, if I was a new player, then and I have like 3 7-stars, and one of those 7 stars is like, I don't know, freaking Dracula or something. I'll rank up the Dracula. I'm sure I'm gonna do great things with Dracula, or it doesn't have to be like Dracula. It could be something else that's like fairly mid the line. And when you are a new and progressing player, you kind of tend to do the best with what you can, and when you are towards the end game, you kind of like pick and choose weapons more carefully, because how most of the stuff, like, there's very few things you don't have. So when you have played the game for a while, you have the kind of like liberty and the privilege, or the ability to be much more selective in what you learn, which champions you use, and ones you don't. And that is when champions truly start competing with each other. When, like, let's say I download this game right now and I start playing through the quest, I don't care, for instance, if let's say who's fairly mid right now in the mutant class. Mutant class maybe not the best example, but science class I think has a lot of champions. I don't know, Job Fixit for I'm sure Job Fixit's one of my first 7 stars, or if there are like specific requirements that Job Fixit fulfills, I'm not gonna be that fast that the Spider-Woman exists that does everything the same and better and could clear the same things. I'm just gonna be focused on the fact that I have Job Fixit, and thanks to that Job Fixit I can clear this piece of content that I otherwise couldn't. So obviously there are different ways to view the game, and if you are brand new, different champions will have different value to you, because again, like, if you pull a mid champion that enables you to clear a boss and clear a lane or clear a piece of content with it, because you don't have the better options, that champion has still tremendous amount of value.
Right. Which makes sense to me. I just don't see that when it's not you that just does champion reviews for spotlights and stuff like that, but I just don't see no one using that. Like, it's the whole, you're pretty much thrown into that group. No matter how you're presenting it, you're going to be thrown into that group. And it does sound that way, because BGs is what is the most entertaining, like, abroad, in a sense of people watching it, whether they play high tier or they don't play high tier. They're trying to snipe you because you play high tier. Like, it's the most viewed.
Yeah, of course it is. And it's not just that, it's also BG is also like only like piece of content that's outside like arena that's effectively replayable infinitely. Like, if Kabam created like a new Elders quest every week, and then we had like Coliseums and stuff like that, and I could fulfill a streaming schedule with other stuff, like, sure, I'd do it. But it's quite literally, you either do BG's arena or you replay old content for no rewards. There's no other alternative to BGs. Like, I can't play War whenever I feel like it. I can play War when Warzone. I can't play AQ whenever I feel like it. I clear a map and I wait, X amount of time to go back in it again. I clear Act 9.3 and there's no point in doing it again at all whatsoever.
I was fully expecting, especially the way that, your mind works, is for you to go on the offensive, because I don't know if it is BG's brain rot or if it's just a matter of, like, that's how, like, the majority of the competitive scene values that mode really high. Like, you have few players that don't care for the mode.
There are a lot of players who don't care for the mode.
Yeah, I mean, I'm talking about, like, when you start getting up in there and you start looking at, like, major Masters alliances, like, there's not, in a 30-man alliance, I mean, even if you have a third, which I would consider a lot, that don't like it, you still have 2/3 that do like it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I would say that even if that's me feeling like I'm being generous, that 2/3 of Masters players, enjoy the game mode and they play it and they like it, then that's going to be kind of what drives the game, because that's the kind of the content that you're putting out. Like, that's the basis of all the champion reviews.
Like all about incentives, right? And like, okay, me as a content creator obviously has slightly different incentives than an average player would, but it's still at the end of the day all about incentives. And my content kind of like reflects what Kabam is making relevant. For instance, next month Kabam creates incursions, insane amount of rewards for like zone 80 or something like that, and there's like, you know, rank 5s awarded and 7-star awakening gems full, and you know, tier 7 basics and 3 to 4 rank up gems and stuff like that, and you can grind it out the entire month. Immediately everybody is going to be shifting. Okay, this is important because this is going to let me get more rewards, and you know, guess what, the day that gets announced, I'm kind of fucking ranking up Angela to rank 4. But you know what I mean, like, because that becomes important, because Kabam made it important. Kabam doesn't make anything else important. There's like literally zero reason for kind of like more experienced players or more established players, like even if you don't play Battlegrounds, if you go big account, what the fuck do you rank for? You can rank up for Prestige, War, or Battlegrounds. There's no need to rank up for anything else. Again, like once you're done with Necropolis, like 3 years done, you know, there's gonna be Necropolis eventually, but you're gonna worry about it when it comes. You don't rank up for like 9.4. You sure shit don't rank up for like monthly event quest or side quest or shit like that. You don't have to. You have a shit ton of champions that do that content anyways. So that's kind of like the main point of that video was like, it's all about incentives. What Kabam makes important, makes relevant, and currently there is no better use of those materials and resources. As I said, like a PCZ example here is like incursions. Kabam is gonna make incursions the most rewarding game mode. Everybody's gonna rank up the fucking Angelas, the Nulls, the whatever else is needed for like specific hack combinations and whatnot. In a heartbeat, the meta will shift. Value of Angela will skyrocket. Angela is gonna be like a top 10 cosmic champion.
So what do you think, honestly, is the most important the most important thing about Battlegrounds to the game? Do you think it's the #1 game mode, or do you think it's just the constant competitiveness of it and that then have to adapt to the metas?
What? I didn't quite understand the question.
So, like Battlegrounds, like how do you view it, right? Do you view it, like you said the 4 in the video, right? But do you view it as the most important game mode?
For me, absolutely. Not necessarily for everybody, but Battlegrounds is the most changing game mode with the biggest demands, as in like, because you can't play Prestige, right? Let's start with that. So when you rank up for Prestige, you just rank up for Prestige, and you might not ever use that champion for anything. You know, you rank up like, I don't know, fucking Silver Surfer. Most people who rank for Silver Surfer use him like once in a blue moon. You know what I mean? They can't play Prestige. Just play AQ, and it doesn't really matter whether you're Prestige 100 points lower or 100 higher. Can't play it. It's just an arbitrary number that's relevant for higher rewards. Then there's Alliance War, and you do rank for Alliance War. You rank when the meta changes. You rank up 1-2 defenders that your alliance asks, 1-2 attackers that your alliance asks, and that happens like every 2 months, right? So that takes about, I don't know, 3 champion slots in 2 months. You know, if you play War seriously, if your alliance plays War seriously, an average player would rank up like 3 champions per meta shift, which is 2 seasons, which is generally 3 months time. 4 weeks, or 2 weeks off season, 4 weeks or 2 weeks off season. So in 3 months, you rank up like 3-4 champions for War. Man. Battlegrounds changes effectively every 2 weeks, every 2.5 weeks. Out with them. And it changes the most drastically. And it's the one that kind of like demands that you adjust quicker. So it's not necessarily that it's like the main game mode or whatever else, it's just the most demanding and dynamic one. Obviously there is like that competitive edge that you do want to beat the other player, and that's fine, you do want the best you can, be that your ego boost or be that your just competitive drive. But either way, Battlegrounds is the most demanding game mode from roster wise. Outside of Prestige again. But you know, Prestige is, again, you can't play Prestige.
I would agree.
What's up, Yas Lion?
Looks like Biswa has a question for you there.
Yeah. 1 second. Do you think the question is legit when asking what purpose you will use Mbaku when we have Okoye? Okay, so on what purpose you use spiral when we have Kushala. Not all of them work against everything exactly the same, and not all of them work in every meta. That's very similar type of thing. For instance, a massive difference is Okoye gets a shit ton of buffs. M'Baku is all passives. So any nodes that prevents you gaining buffs and whatnot, you know, M'Baku would be the champion that you use. 1 second. One second, I apologize for that. What question? Okay, so yeah, basically it's kind of like similar thing, you know. We often have champions that do, you know, a lot of the same.
I mean, these champions were definitely can be compared to others, but I feel like they hold value, and if you actually like that character more.
I don't think you need to rank 4 with that. I mean, if you like him, go for it. Like, I have some champions that don't really do much for me in general, and that I have still ranked up. Like, recently I ranked up Ironheart, knowing that, you know, she's gonna be okay for this meta, not great. But, I just use her a lot for, like, AQ and stuff like that, and it's not a champion that I had to have at rank 4, it's just kind of... so if you like it, you know, go for it. 9.4 releases April. But yeah, the thing with like M'Baku again, Okoye will likely do just about everything better than M'Baku does, but Okoye will not always work. When M'Baku might. Like niche.
Is there?
Sorry?
There's that deal with the ensnared, right, where it fails abilities inconsistently, right?
Yeah.
And
but that,
he doesn't have
minus. But the difference there is M'Baku counters auto blocked. So M'Baku, for instance, could be used against like Modok or something if, you know, he becomes meta relevant, or new auto block defenders. So that's like.
Does he have a combo increase?
Yeah, he does have combo increase.
So like high evolutionary counter.
Yeah. I mean, Okoye nukes high evolutionary as well, but.
Yeah.
Oh, we have a raid. Imba raid. Stop imbalanced. How are you doing? Oh, it looks like somebody made a mistake somewhere, and I need to fix it. So you guys will have to bear with me for a few minutes. You can still talk, it's fine. I just need to adjust pricing.
Duty calls, huh? Work.
Well, at least it's not my mistake.
I mean, as much as Battlegrounds not really been updated a lot since its release, and I feel like it's hard to say that it's not the most important game mode because, like, I don't know. I feel maybe more people do war, but take it less seriously. Like the rank ups that you were speaking about, we don't take anything of it. Like, you know, we're like, okay, with the new meta comes, and you know, it's the same meta for, you know, 2 seasons. So we rank for those seasons and adjust as needed. But in the lower levels, they don't take it that serious. The nodes aren't as harsh, and it's a little bit easier. You don't necessarily have to have offensive rank ups in that sense.
In which mode?
I mean,
offensive rank ups.
In war, like, you know what I mean? Like,
yeah.
A lot of champ could work in War that are not going to work in Battlegrounds because Battlegrounds has a time aspect to it that is lower than War. So where you have 5 minutes, you only have 2 minutes, and every second matters. So, I mean, the only time that time really comes into effect is high tier War. If you have a tie, and then obviously time matters then. But for the most part, it's not even, I mean, even like this tactic, you don't even have to have an attack tactic champ. I mean, we always.
I mean, like, that's what I said. Like, War is a lot less demanding.
So I don't know that you can judge a champion without putting BGs first.
Well, that's exactly
if that's the main competitive thing. Like,
exactly, and that's like what takes most of your rank ups anyways. Your rank up resources that you kind of, if you want to do anything decently in BGs, you have to commit resources to it, much more so than War, which is like what we just discussed. War, even if you do care, you end up ranking like, you know, 3 champions max for like new nodes and what.
And plus, Battlegrounds is also solo reliant. You don't have to worry about what 29 other people are going to do. It's just you versus someone. And so you don't even have to be in an alliance in that manner. But like a lot of the top alliances, you know, like if they're not high in prestige, like some of them don't even do AQ.
Yep.
So, I mean, it's kind of hard to explain that in a way. Like when I listened to the video, I actually ended up watching it back again to try to see, because it's
to try and pick an error and pick on me.
Yeah, there's just no way to get around it. I don't know if it's brain rot or if it's just
it's not brain rot,
like,
it's design that Kabam has made, and that's like the. Should you accept that, you know, the BGs do matter most when new champions come out, the sooner you start dealing with reality. Because there's, again, outside of those 4 game modes, those 3 things, War, Battlegrounds, and Prestige rank ups in general, there is no other incentive to rank up anything for any reason, just about ever, for kind of like experienced players. Like once in 3 years when Necropolis 2.0 or whatever comes out, sure, that's about it. And
yeah,
again,
that's
like,
another. No, Biswar was saying that they should buff the BG rewards. There's a lot of things that need to be buffed in the reward aspect, and then, I mean, I don't know who runs the show over there, and I'm sure they have agendas and they have orders, but there's a lot of stuff that misses the mark. But we don't know if it misses the mark for people that don't take the game as serious as us. That some people just play it casually, and maybe they spend, you know, buy the sigil and, you know, just mess around and don't try to advance into like higher tiers for any mode that they play. I mean, I don't know how many of those people there is, but there's that old saying that you get one person to spend 100 is not as valuable as you get 100 people to spend $10, you know? So there's definitely having to appeal to the masses, and combining the currencies that they've been talking about, that's definitely going to be weird. And how are they going to do quantities? What's the cap going to be on that? Because I hate that there's a cap on anything. But I know why they do it, because they do it so people don't hoard until stores get updated and get that slight advantage. You can only hold so much.
Okay. Yeah, there are a few other things that are also kind of like making that feeling. Again, going back to the incentive thing, there's literally nothing else to rank for kind of like players that are on top of things that have played for a while. Like if you have a shit ton of content to do, sure, you know, you can rank up for, you know, I don't know, epoch or something like that. Even though, again, I think it's unwise to do, but at least there is some sort of motivation. But if you have done the existing content in the game, what else do you rank up for? You rank up for exactly those 3 things and nothing else. For kind of like, you know, established Valiant players. But even if you like up and coming progressing players, like you can easily kind of like kill 2 birds with 1 stone. You know, rank up champions that will help you clear content as you get them, and also, you know, be decently good in Valiant. With, I suppose, exception for like strict defenders. Well, you know, enchanters you can easily do without, or something like that.
Right.
But you know, Serpent is great fucking everywhere. And that's the other point, is like most of the champions that are great for Balagons are great everywhere in the game, so why wouldn't you rank them up? I do know about Heimdall problem, yes. Fine.
It's just, I think I don't really pay attention to too much of the forums other than what I see people, you know, obviously talking about, maybe your videos or stuff that I see people bringing up in the chats, but maybe there needs to be more of a communication on what a champion is used for by those bigger, you know, like CCP members that go in there and they test and stuff like that. Like maybe they need to talk about what that champion would really be good for and emphasize that.
I don't think most of them care. I really don't.
They don't. Like Nick, I love Nick.
Or let me put it like that. If they do care, I don't think Kabama would listen in the first place. Because Kabama is not very susceptible to less than flattering feedback.
Yeah, I mean, like I said, I love Nick's videos. Like I watch
cool.
most of his videos.
I mean,
he always
like Nick is very likable. I disagree with him a shit ton though, but you know, he's very likable. I like him a lot.
But his videos are like a prime example. Like the whole thing is like, this is like, okay, this is what a BG size health pool is going to look like. This is about what the time would be, maybe a couple seconds because inequity isn't here. But it's all based on like BGs, you know.
What else do you base it? But that's like another. What else would you base it for? There's nothing else in the game that you could base it for. You can't base it on Act 9 because every lane is so specialized that, you know, a champion is going to be for like. First of all, they cut down story content so drastically. It's only like 3 lanes per quest. It used to be like 12. You know, in some quests it's 3 lanes, right? And it's only 6 fights. It used to be like 10 fights in a path before. So they drastically cut down like story content, and each story content lane is so specialized that any rank up that you do for like Act 9 is going to be due for like 2 lanes, because, you know, you have to use different classes, you very specific abilities. You can't, you know, base a showcase on the story content. You can't base a showcase on like one-off content that a ton of people have already done and will never play again, like Epoch or Deal or any of that stuff. You just can't base any sort of type of champion showcase on any of that stuff because it's one and done. You know, you don't play it like regularly, and again, it's like hyper specialized, and it's gonna be good for like this 1 or 2 things, and this in any way showcase champion quality, compatibility with like that very specific.
Well, that's what I mean, though. It's almost like it's being gatekept in a sense where, like, for instance, no one talks about Abyss anymore because it's irrelevant. I get that, right? Or, like, Necropolis, most of us have beat it, the reward center. But if someone wanted to do that and they were a newer player and they wanted to complete that, there's no, you know what I mean? There's no update on that. There's nobody talking about, like,
I have more and more people recently kind of, like, asking for it. And I get that. And it all comes
there's
down
no
to
emphasis on that.
Yeah, absolutely there's no emphasis, because again, there's no incentive for it. I could, like, in off season I could redo Necropolis easy, right? I have expiring stash, I have champions ranked up, I could do that. How many people would watch that? I mean, I guess we can make an experiment. I can try and attempt that. Chances are, like, that videos and those streams wouldn't, like, be viewed particularly well compared to something like Balagons or any new content, right? Because that's where the difference is. Like, content creators have no incentive to cover content that, you know, relatively few people would watch or care for.
Well, that's what I mean. That's because, but that's for existing players. There's no content made by the bigger people for new players.
Well, again,
Like, look,
you are right.
just look at
It
where you're
comes down
at,
to
right? You don't
incentives.
like look at where you're at, right? You don't post war content anymore, right?
Mhm.
You don't post walkthroughs for the monthly event quest, every single side quest, every single, like you'll live stream all the story mode, but there's no like crazy breakdown. Like even your breakdowns, because it's got more simplistic. You just have to understand that it's not really 10 nodes, it's only 2 nodes.
Mm-hmm.
And this is how you got to fight it. And that kind of works for story mode, but on everything else, it's not broken down because most people consider it irrelevant. And the people that are considering it irrelevant are people that have high skill and play at a high level. There's no like, I can't, if someone was to start playing, my only option for them would be like, look, you got to go to MCOC noob. Like he's your only guy that's going to be able to help you to try to kind of, get your feet wet, so to speak, to understand.
It's not like MCOC
Like,
noob constantly revisits all piece of content either.
No, that's what I mean. Nobody does the big content. I'm just saying he does like monthly EQ and stuff. Like we don't got to go watch that because we're like, all right, what's the note? Same note it's been for 3 years. Okay, cool.
Well, exactly, and like that's why we're talking about incentives and Kabam not creating them. If Kabam like made like new different nodes and it would be a different piece of content, like obviously that would be covered because people would be interested in it in like sustainable numbers. But you can't create content for like 20 people or like 100 people or whatever. Like it's kind of like I'm gonna make a guide to next Elder EQ. How many of the current viewers will look at the video and say, fuck it, I'm just gonna clear it. However, I cleared it last month. I never need any help for Elder EQ. Like, why would I take some now?
You have 50,000 subscribers, right?
Mm-hmm.
Put a poll on your YouTube channel for what mode do you play the most, and you'll be able to see by the votes. Obviously you're not going to get every single subscriber probably won't vote, but you'll kind of get a bit, because I honestly don't know. Everyone that I know pretty much plays Battlegrounds. Well, and is high level war.
Kind of like the replies in that are going to be skewed as well. Because I can tell you immediately what 2 game modes will win. It's going to be Battlegrounds and Arena. Because there are only 2 replayable game modes in the game that exist right now. There's nothing else that you can just play and play and play.
In a sense, yeah. I just don't know how many new players there are. Like, what are the lower level players doing? Like, are they taking Battlegrounds serious? Are they just kind of casually in there? Because if you're a new player, and you're trying to clear story, there's a lot to clear. Like, you're basically pushing until you get to Valiant, and then you're not going to go back and clear most of that. I know they try to update the rewards, but nobody wants the energy that you need is ridiculous. But as far as like Abyss and big content like that, just clearing it, like, I guess it's a personal perspective for me because obviously I went back to Abyss late and I had to go in and find some archive stuff, some of the stuff you sent me to see like, all right, what are the hidden defenders? What's the nodes? What do I got to have a counter for? And got to kind of plan it. And that's just me trying to complete it. I don't care about the rewards. I just enjoy long fights. And I haven't completed it. So it's like a 2 birds with 1 stone thing for me.
Yeah, I mean, like, I do think there is a room to do some things about it or try and find like a way. But again, that's like an...
Yes.
Huh?
That's not the guy in the chat. Pecker 1981 was saying the player base is like 90% new to newer players. Do you feel like that's accurate?
I think player base is approximately 90% new or casual players that don't kind of like stress about things much. However, like in the context of, for instance, YouTube, most of the new players are not gonna come looking for guides. They're just gonna play. They're just kind of like mess around with the game a little bit. And similar to the casual players, they don't really care that much to follow MCOC on YouTube actively and engage with the viewers and stuff like that. That is what I think. I think if you have made your way into the section of YouTube in regards of MCOC and started subscribing MCOC content creators and learning more about the game, you're already a somewhat more committed of a player. You know what I mean? Kind of like the idea itself that
does
have
make
made
sense.
it this far to watch this video, I think in many cases would kind of already imply that you're not kind of like brand new player to the game, or you're not kind of like super casual. It's all often would serve as a proof that you're taking it more seriously and like more actively learning for it, which I do feel is vast minority of the players. It's the same things like when some shit goes wrong and Kabam makes a forum post. I do think that most of the people who are affected by some sort of massive Kabam bug or error will never read that post. Because it takes a certain level of commitment to the game to actually follow Kabam forums and read those messages and stuff like that. Yeah, but get me?
Yeah. I'm just thinking that it's hard. 90% seems like a lot.
Well, I obviously, we're not talking exact percentages. It's kind of like more like we're talking about majority proportionality. Let's say the majority of the players are super casual, that have this game downloaded. They open it every day for like a little bit or once in a few days and stuff like that.
Well, I mean, you could look and see how many Alliance War brackets there are and how many alliances and how many people there's an alliance. And
but again, it's like, do you know how lower tier alliances play wars? Like, if they join 2 Balgo wars, there's like out of those 2 Balgo wars, there's gonna be like 3 people actually clearing the map, for instance. Like when
yeah, no, I know, I've seen it. Like they don't take it serious. But I'm just saying in general, when that's what I mean. Like, we're the minority. Like, the people that play every mode, like, we rank for prestige because AQ matters to us because of the radiance. And we play, Battlegrounds because that's, like, the main competitive mode. And, again, another source for radiance. Mm-hmm. And same thing with War. Like, we're just trying to progress our accounts in a way. But we're the minority. Like, because you have to have a certain skill threshold. And even when you, like, your skills, like, your reaction times may diminish, but your understanding of how things work in the game will always kind of give you an advantage when something new comes out.
Yep.
Because you'll kind of understand it better based on prior knowledge that you already have.
Yeah, a lot of it's also like muscle memory and just knowing what to do and stuff like that. What to look out for. Yeah, repetitious fights make the fight easier and stuff like that. It's just normal stuff from playing a lot. But exactly.
Being the minority and like making a new, like a deep dive on a new champion, or not even a deep dive, obviously that's Karate Mike's thing, but a more of a, like, the content creators talking about a new champion. And like Blue Marvel, for instance, like, we don't know exactly how good he's going to be. We try to interpret it, and then the biggest thing that sticks out to us is he's number 4 in Prestige. So if you take Prestige seriously, you're going to have to rank him regardless and then figure it out from there.
Mm-hmm. That has been one of the few main talking points.
So I'm thinking that there's no appeal to the masses. And it's this is what I mean. This is why I feel like the game's dying. You know what I mean? Because it doesn't feel like we're all in a group. It feels like we're segregated. Not that we always haven't been, but that the gap has grown so tremendously. Like, those that have been in the top tier and stayed in the top tier have just created a massive gap there.
But that comes with anything where, best way to put it, the game has gone on for 10 years. And yes, Kabam has done a good job to make sure that newer players, if they're willing, committed, and potentially spend some money, can catch up within a couple of years. With a product that's gone on for so long, there's so much of it. Like, regardless of how I would want to make content for like everybody now, never progression level, I can't, because I can't be re-exploring acts 4, 5, and 6 every half a year basically to test out the new champions in it and some changes and whatnot. But I can't even do it every year really, because it is again such a massive time commitment. If I would be doing that, I would be limiting my own account progress, because I would have no time to grind arenas, I would have no time to do this, that, and that, because of how much there is to cover. Like, I can't, and besides act content, there's like, you could easily revisit variants, for instance, or you could easily revisit EOP and all the special quests and stuff like that. You could do all that, but it's impossible without kind of like sacrificing your endgame progress. I can't play the game, gaining rewards, attaining new champions, and all that stuff, and only be, or primarily be, playing old content in the game.
I mean,
right?
Yeah, of course. Yeah, even if you had all day, that you'd get burnt out.
It's not just the burnout. I think it would be like physically impossible to cover it all with all the new champions inductions and test which champions work where and stuff like that, because of how much there is. And simultaneously, all of that content that I would be making, it would still be for a small subsection of the players, because we're all again in like very kind of like different levels of progression right now based on our account size and stuff like that. It was one thing when some people had, let's say, 200, 500k total account hero base rating, and one player had like 1 million or 2 million. Now we have people who have 100k, 200k, 300k, 400k hero base rating, 1, 2, 3 million hero base rating, 4, 5, 6 million hero base rating, and like 10 million plus hero base rating, and I think we're gonna get like 15 million accounts soon. You know what I mean? So it's impossible to create content or speak from the point of relevance to all of these groups at once.
Yeah, that's what I mean. There's no way to, obviously you're a content creator, so you understand it more in depth as to, all right, what's going to work? Like, where's my audience at? And, how is it going to benefit you for what you're trying to use it for to make money? And,
it's not
but
just
there's
that.
like,
At this point, it would be impossible to me just from some sort of, let's say, a casual Thronebreaker or a brand new Valiant point of perspective. Because even if I did make a new account right now, I would go in the game with a shit ton of knowledge and experience, right? So I'd immediately know which champions to pick, how to do it, and I would not speak to the new progressing player as well.
Well, let's just say like
you're wouldn't be similar to it. Let's say I do like a challenge and I play, every day 6 hours, one new account, and I get it to Valiant in the first month, and within 6 months, I'm playing BGs at a somewhat half decent quantum or whatever tier. That would absolutely not reflect the experience of a casual player that picks up the game similar time frame as I do, because they would have to learn all of these brand new and learn all of those fights and game.
That's what I mean. There's no breakdown of it. Like your spreadsheet is really what made me think about the aspect of how the champions get broken down. Like, you have a spreadsheet with common defenders for battlegrounds, and then you put an attacker in there, and like, okay, yes, no, sometimes, whatever. You know how the spreadsheet's set up. So there's nothing like that, and it would be more on Kabam. But something like that introduces a way to understanding how to counter things that are common in the game. Like Unstoppable, for instance. Like, you would have Unstoppable, and then you would have champions that would, in a sense, counter that, or that are good against that. Someone that, like buff immune. You can go to websites and find that different stuff, but there's nothing in game that kind of gives you that. You got to kind of find it on your own. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Like, you got to read through champion kits. There's nothing that kind of helps players with that. Because the perfect example was the new Falcon, the Joaquin Phoenix, when you talked about you could read the kit and it'll take you 10 minutes to read the kit, and there's only 2 things that come out of it, and they're not even that great. So even reading some of the kits is like a waste. There's no way to help a newer player. Like, you're just kind of like, all right, figure it out type deal, you know?
Mm-hmm. I mean, those are like very hard things to address. And like, again, because they are like also so varied in a way. But make no mistake, the current state of the game is a result of obviously Kabam's actions and incentives that they do provide or do not provide for the players. And again, like, I keep coming back to the incentives, because for new and progressing players, there are a ton of struggles, but there is a borderline infinite amount of time, things you can do, and infinite amount of game time that you can have if you're willing to do it. If you pick up the game right now, you can spend so much time having a great amount of fun in the game, like learning, figuring things out, playing content. Obviously the problem there and the struggle is that it's not easy to figure it out and, you know, realize what to do when and what's more important. And there's also not an easy way to help that group, I think. And I'd be open to ideas, like I'm not opposed to, like, you know, streaming, I don't know, polygons less and taking a step back from polygons and creating new content, if that is like what would be good, you know, for more people, for the game and for the channel, even if it's not necessarily the thing that I would, you know, want to do the most with my playtime. But if it would be something genuinely useful, I'd try my best to do it. If there would be like a good way format of something and put together some sort of plan. I mean, I can ponder about it as well, but I don't see an easy option there. And then when it comes to the more experienced player side, there's literally no incentive to do anything but play Arena and Polygons, because those are the only game modes that are replayable, where you can, you know, earn additional rewards and where you get stuff, basically.
You get something for the time that you put in.
Like, it's kind of like abysmal that the legitimately most valuable time for time spent in the game in 2026 is Arena that hasn't been updated in 3 years. That is a problem.
Yeah, it is. I could agree with that.
But Arena is, you know, minute per minute, like the biggest amount of rewards that you gain in the game. Even Battlegrounds doesn't stand close to it, because you can play 2 hours of Battlegrounds and sure enough you can put some points in those alliance objectives, but those rewards are shit as fuck because they haven't been updated into a year, and you might end up with lower ratings than you started. You know what I mean?
Sure. Outdoorsy coming into the game is now easier than it was 5 years ago. Content is easier.
Yeah,
Inquiring
it is easier, but it's also
Yeah.
more confusing. It is easier when you know what you're doing. It's easier looking back, but it is way more confusing because there are way more champions with way more complex abilities, with way more things to learn, with more complicated kits, and like way more choices and options. It is easier when you look back and you know what it is that you're looking at. You know?
Yeah, I mean, I don't think that they should have nerfed Act 6. And I mean, I know it's a way that people could try to streamline up. The higher that you're, you know, like you're Valiant or whatever, the higher progression level that you are, the more the rewards you'll get, the better rewards will be. And, you know, you could just continue to grow your account. But in a way, it's like a rite of passage. And part of my problem with the game is they don't necessarily make anything hard anymore. I mean, that was something that I really valued in your video when you were like, even if they do drop Necropolis 2.0, like my stash will get me through it.
Yeah, exactly. And that is a complete shift in attitude. Like, at this point, I am 100% convinced if Kabam releases like new Wheel of Fate for it, I'm gonna do it on day 1 or day 2 max. I'm not gonna spend anything on revives or potions, and I barely will have drunk up something. And it's not because I'm cocky, it's because Kabam has lost the ability to create content with teeth for most part. There's gonna be some bullshit things that we're gonna find like frustrating and annoying, that you're like, oh, there's no way to do this fight, for instance, you know, without fighting like for 15 minutes and it's boring as fuck. We're gonna bitch about it. We always bitch about everything, let's face it. Oh, Kabam's gonna create one BS fight that's gonna cost you like 10 revives, something like that. But we haven't had a fight like OG Champion, people spend like fucking Odins and OG, you know, the champion fight, 6.2 champion. And if you couldn't do it, you couldn't do it. Similarly, in Labyrinth, there were like fights where, like the X23, like if you didn't bring a perfect counter, you're fucked. And you quit out and all your progress is wasted, and that felt extremely punishing. The entire 6.2 was like that, where every fight was different, and if you didn't read one node, you could easily get stuck because all of a sudden there's like caustic temper and something else, you know? And you genuinely felt like you have to kind of like have an answer for everything, and you need to be vigilant and stuff like that. We have long since moved away from that. Story content is, again, relatively speaking, and I'm not trying to be demeaning here to the newer players or players who struggle with like Act 7, Act 8, Act 9. I'm talking in comparison to the way Act 4, 5, and 6 were. It's piss easy. Like, all story content's piss easy. Like, you basically use a handful of revives until you learn the final boss fight, and on the way there, you use a revive if you, I don't know, didn't bring in like a right champion or something like that. But overall, you know, for most part, all the new story content, you kind of do borderline itemless until you learn the final boss. And then, you know, maybe use some resources there. And it didn't used to be like that. When story content used to come out, people were like, oh, I have 2 Odins and 60 revives ready, I'm gonna crush this con. And that's change in the players' habits, and kebab habits as well there. Because we're not willing to spend money on revives as well, and kebab is not making content that would, you know, do out our revives. It's also, you can see it, you can literally see the change of every new big piece of Everest content and how much it cost initially. Like, Realm of Legends was unclearable when it came out. Like, there were literally barely no tools, and people had to kind of like become extremely skilled or extremely creative very fast to clear it potentially ever. Right, like the whole Electro thing with Brutal DLX and things like that, because it was kind of made as a content that you're not meant to be able to complete right now. Then we had Labyrinth of Legends, where one path initially cost like 4 Odins, something like that. 3-4 Odins, and that was the cost to clear the Labyrinth path initially. And there were absolute nightmare fights, like that Doctor Strange, where, you know, one mistake against him and he's gonna heal back, you know, 5 revives worth of progress, similar to Venom Pool. He procs regen, kind of fucked. You just immediately quit out and hope that he didn't regen too much too quickly, and you chipped it away within like 25 revives, and that was that. And you eventually in Labyrinth ended up using like 3-4 Odins per path initially. Obviously eventually it got easier. And then Abyss was already less. Abyss was like, you know, an Odin a path or something like that. Basically.
Well, I mean, it makes sense to go. To me, it makes sense to go back and nerf that content, right? Like,
no,
I think
it's not nerfing. Like, what do you mean nerfing? Like, the Everest content, I'm not saying nerfing. I'm saying every new iteration of Everest content is easier and easier.
Well, no, that's so like what you're saying. I mean, nerfing content in general. So like 6.2, right, was super tough back in the day. Like, it's pretty much, it would break you. Like, if not financially, it's going to break your spirit. You're going to have to regroup and get back through, you know.
Yeah,
but
1 second, let's answer a few questions. I think I have waffled a bit too much. Kadik, sorry, finish your thought about breaking and then.
Oh, no, I was just saying that 6.2, like, it makes sense to nerf it because 6.2 isn't the end game of story right now. 9.3 is. So but when 9.4 drops, it's going to be easy. Like, we didn't have that. Like, when Act 6 came out, it was hard for us. It was not easy.
Yeah.
Like, if you were already up to that point, it was hard.
Mm-hmm.
And they just don't do that no more. So then, like, all these new champions that come out were forced to base their merit off of what they do in BGs, because anybody in the fucking game will work for the content they're going to release.
Exactly. That's what I was talking about. Like, so why the fuck would you rank up for like story content? I kind of think the new Titan is kind of mid given the lack of new long form content. Yeah, exactly. I agree. I think the new Titan is kind of mid. I think the current Titan is worse than the previous one, and I think the next Titan is worse than the current one. Very simple. when we had to cry using Star-Lord vs. Maestro in Labyrinth. Exactly, it's like you don't get that anymore, and like because there are two sides of it. It obviously kind of sucked. Those fights are absolutely horrible, but you felt awesome, you know, clearing the labyrinth. You felt like it mattered, and it was like a massive accomplishment. There is no piece of content like that anymore. Even when I finished my Necropolis run, I didn't feel the same excitement that I felt for Abyss, and when I finished Abyss, I didn't feel the same excitement that I felt for Labyrinth, because it got progressively easier. And that's just the way the game changed. And, you know, part of me, like, I get it, I accept it, and the reason I do is because, you know, the game clearly has moved in the direction of polygons. And polygons is the thing that gives you the dopamine rush now, winning in a tight match against, like, a highly ranked opponent, or getting that, you know, finishing a season strong and winning a match, you know, towards the end of the season and stuff like that. That is where kind of, like, the excitement of the game has moved. But let's not pretend that it hasn't moved. I'm not again saying it's for better or worse. I'm not saying that MCOC had everything figured out. You know what I mean? What I am, however, saying is that it is what's happened. We just have to deal in reality.
I mean, to be fair though, Abyss was not. You couldn't do Abyss like you did in Necropolis. What you cleared it in like just over a day's time, 2 days or so.
Necropolis, I did Abyss in a couple of days too. I was one of the first 20 people to clear Abyss too.
Yeah, when you're racing it, like, yeah, I don't. Especially the way that like you and Pepe were doing it and stuff, with just like Aegon going in there and smashing it. Mm-hmm. Well, pretty much everyone that finished within that to get the Mystic title. Like, that content is really just gonna seem like it sucks anyways.
To me, that was like the biggest weakness of that piece of content. I think Necropolis would have been a big piece of content if good piece of content if Aegon didn't exist. I got so much shit for it, but I still think that Necropolis would have been a better piece of content if you couldn't just Aegon smash through it. But Kabam kind of did it on purpose to allow kind of like less skilled players, you know, do it well. Because again, running with Aegon was already from the beginning slightly more expensive, but it required significantly less knowledge and skill to do. And that was like an intentional design decision I feel Kabam made. Because it made Necropolis much more achievable for significantly more people. Just rank up Aegon and smash your face into champions. You know what I mean?
It was more expensive, but I also feel like it was faster.
It was much faster and it was much easier. Much less headache, much less planning, much less of everything. It was just use like, let's say, 40% more revives or 50% more revives than you would with like Kate and Wong or something. But you can do it much faster and with a lot less brain power involved. They increase their recovery time? I don't believe you.
I'm so nervous for y'all. I'm gonna be gone when it comes out, but whenever they release the AI 2.0, I'm definitely gonna be around for those streams. I know that. I will make sure that notifications are definitely on and working to be in your stream.
I'm not as nervous anymore, I'll be honest. Like, what's the best way to put it? For like over a year now, I largely have like an attitude of, you know, grab a bucket of popcorn and, you know, see how the ship rides out. I still do get passionate about the game, but I don't get myself like worked up about it, you know? If 5 or 6 years ago, everything that happened in the game seemed so much more meaningful to me than right now. I'm just more of a, this should be fun. You know what I mean? Just grab a bucket of popcorn and see how things shake out.
Yeah, well, I mean, we've like, collectively quit complaining about AI as it is now. Like, we just kind of coped with the fact that it sucks.
Yeah. I mean, it's not just that. It's also kind of like my life has changed. Obviously, my life's like a lot different. I'm married now, and
yeah, Scott, I am cool.
I'm married now, and I do have another job, which also is like responsible for like a significant portion of my income, so I'm not as reliant on YouTube money now. And I'm sure, like, you know, if I stopped uploading videos tomorrow, you know, kind of like, sure, I'd be fine-ish. Like, you know, I'd find like another job that I'd combine with this one, or I'd, you know, start streaming other stuff. I wouldn't, you know, I generally don't feel like MCOC and the things that happen with MCOC is like end all be all anymore, which is a very good feeling. So
it being your only source of income is a stressful thing, because anytime the game does bad, it like you have to kind of care about it. Like, if,
oh yeah, of course.
So that's understandable for sure.
And
I am quitting, Scott. It's over. It's over, Scott.
he's not quitting. He's a wee bit quitting.
Yeah. I've been in talks. Like, there's
It's
a
not
couple
quitting
people
with a
that
capital K. Don't worry.
I've talked to a couple people, and they're like, "Hey, you know, we don't have AQ over here, and you know, like we can do easy planning for wars." Like, I don't.
It's a blue.
I
Who's on
just-
call? It's Sith Supreme.
I don't know when we're gonna get to a point in the game where I could be casual while also trying to raise a newborn. Like, I don't know that I'm gonna be like, I'm either gotta be all or nothing. Like, unless I'm just gonna play without being in an alliance and just hop on Battlegrounds if I have a couple of hours while he's sleeping or something. But when my daughter was young, there was no chance. There was no chance to play any games. There was none of that going on.
It'll all work out, don't you worry. It's all
Yeah,
gonna
I
be
mean,
fine.
I'm quitting at the end of this month. So when my son comes in April, I'll kind of have that March to get ready. April, once he gets here, once I see how things go, if it's manageable, then that's fine. But as of right now, it's gotten to the point where it's not manageable. Like, I've had a lot going on with this house stuff, and then also a lot of stuff going on at work, and different changes in our inventory system and sales. And so I've been extremely busy, and I can't really keep up with AQ. Like, I hate that whole aspect of I gotta make sure I log on before I leave
that's
work.
one good thing change that they're making with that new evolution of AQ, where there's going to be like one map for the entire week. Right? I actually really like that change.
Oh, me too. But are they gonna, like, I love raids. Raids is great. Like, we can just get on there, knock it out, and I'm done with it all week.
Yeah, that AQ is going to be like kind of very, very similar to raids.
Yeah, but I just don't know if and you see, like, raids, one of my favorite thing about raids is it's not energy reliant either. Whereas like AQ, I wouldn't even mind AQ if I didn't have to wait for my energy to refill or spend units on energy. If it was unlimited energy in there, then yeah, I wouldn't mind just clearing my path and being done with it.
Yeah, I can't, like, for a while, I just, every other day I spend like those 35 units or whatever for that AQ energy refill, because I consistently forgot.
Yeah. I've done that. I've definitely done that. Especially when I was spending, I didn't care. I would just be like, all right, I'm going to clear it so I don't even have to check tomorrow while I'm at work. But since I've quit spending and I'm not using units for energy refills, I got to log in, clear it, and then, wait, clear it before I go to bed, check it in the morning before I go to work, clear it. And then if I still have to go again, then I got to try to, around lunchtime, take a break. And the way that my job works, I don't get a consistent break every day. Like, I can take time whenever I need to. Like, they allot an hour
But when
lunch
you're busy,
whenever I
you
need
kind
to.
of like forget, or
Yeah. Like, if we're doing inventory counts at the end of the year, like, I don't have time for that. Like, that's a constant thing. I've got my headphones on in there with all the rest of the guys, and we're just in there counting materials. Like, I'm not in my mind thinking like, oh, let me take a break from this so I can go clear my alliance quests. Kind of gets in the way of life as is.
Yeah. And remember how much worse AQ used to be? Like, remember when we had constantly chat, oh, when are you coming? I need you to clear this fight so I can get to my fight, and I'm still linked. Remember links?
The links was whole thing with the old Alliance War map. That thing was made to build nightmares.
Yeah,
it was nightmare fuel. Like, there's nothing worse than you got someone that like is ready to clear, and like just the plan just went out, and he's like, "Hey, when are you gonna be able to take that share?"
Yeah, the stress.
Or you get a sign. Yeah, you get a sign like that first major one that like got you from section 1 into section 2. That was horrible too. I hated that. They did really good when they changed the map.
Yeah, hey, all this meaningful conversation, babies around, everything else. You get no better discussion anywhere around MCOC. And we don't even have a Gulag Master. I'm gonna have to Gulag Sith Supreme for that. I'm gonna blame him for that.
Blame me for no Gulag Master?
Absolutely. Who else?
That makes no sense.
It makes all the sense. You're on the call.
So no one wants to donate?
So you're the
Get out of here.
variable.
I've already paid my dues.
Yeah, I know. You have. You also came to visit me.
There's a lot.
I hope you come at some point again to Latvia.
Yeah, once we get settled in and the new house and we see kind of how my son's gonna go and all that, I think that I was hoping that it would be this year. Like I have a stupid business trip that we got to go to in London, which is I'm not gonna have time for anything fun, unfortunately. Maybe hit a couple good food spots, but that's about it. But outside of that, I think that it's gonna be a couple years. If we weren't expecting, then I would say this year would be good in the summertime to head back over there. But once my son kind of gets to the point where he's more stable, then I'd definitely go over there. Because my wife's not going to get on a plane, and she's not going to let me take the kids. So I mean, anywhere in the United States, yeah, or the store or something, she wouldn't care. But like on an airplane across the overseas, no. She was nervous enough just for me, like.
Well, your brother can still come.
And I hadn't. Oh, of course, yeah. He, like I said, I asked you if he could come because when I told him I was going, he was like, "Yo, I want to go." Like he's never been. Like, so
Yeah.
he's always up. He's always up for something like that. Like, he lives by himself, and he gets bored easy. So I would like to come back over there.
Yeah. There's still so much fun, cool things
Not-
that we can do.
Not this time of year, though. You can
yeah.
forget it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
we had like minus 20 centimeters.
I would like to. I'd like to see it. I wouldn't like to feel it. It was 19 degrees yesterday morning here in Florida. Like Fahrenheit, I don't what that is Celsius, I'm not sure. Minus, I think it's 17 or I can't remember what it was, but it was cold. Like I was definitely like, this is Florida, not fucking Antarctica. But it felt horrible. The humidity is really high here too, so that 19 was rough. Yeah, it feels worse. Like it does. I lived up north in Maryland, which like the northern part of the United States, and it was not that bad. Like living in the snow and all that, it did not feel near as cold as it feels in Florida at times.
What's up, Savage? How are you doing, buddy? Welcome to the stream.
You shouldn't have told nobody you got your second job. That's why the Gulag Master went away. Yeah.
I mean, like, they've noticed probably all the messages coming in anyways. It's only a part-time job, but, it's still nice to have. Helps a ton. As I said, this is, like, the first month in a while where I kind of feel like I'm on top of things. I don't have, like, much, like, any spare money to do anything, like, go out and, like, spend it on whatever, but, kind of like finally feeling that I'm somewhat on top of things.
There's not massive pressure just to put gas in your vehicle.
Yeah, exactly. Like I know that I do need to fill up, but I know that I can do it. And although the reason why I haven't is
right. I mean, to be fair, where you live and the accessibility of where you live, I mean, it's really nice to where if you do have to go to get groceries or something like that,
yeah, I can do it.
it's not the greatest to have to walk, but you can do it.
Yeah. But obviously, like, there's like a lot else involved. For instance, my wife's mom's like 20 miles out, and we do have to go places quite often for like one reason or another. But yeah, no.
Yeah, and the way that y'all drive over there, I wouldn't dare ride a bicycle. So
why?
y'all drive like maniacs over there.
You drive perfectly reasonably. What's up, Mario? Sam?
I mean, that's easy for you to say.
No, Kitty Pride's not gonna be in Titan Crystal. Everybody drives fine. I don't know what you're on about.
You drive on the right side of the road. That's it. All those random cliff drop-offs with no railing.
It's not random. That was a construction site.
It was like that everywhere we went. Like if
it's just we're doing a lot of road work because we want to have good roads.
Oh man. It was pretty nice over there. I would say the biggest thing I regret though is doing anything the first day. Like I needed to just sleep like the entire first day and I would have been fine. Because I felt like I never caught up on sleep at all.
Oh, but you didn't do anything the first day when you guys came over. Oh, I mean like we just went for a meal and that's it. You guys went to sleep first day.
Yeah, I know, but then once we woke up that next day we were doing stuff. You know what I mean? Like there was no, like I feel like that first day I should have just took to myself to adjust, but I didn't.
Baby,
I'm like, all right, let's go do stuff.
To waste an entire day.
That's what I mean. We should have extended the trip. I didn't plan it as thorough.
Yeah, if you guys
should have
longer,
extended
then
the
sure.
trip.
But other than that, I kind of feel like it was like fairly well thought out because like we had the first like 2 active days, then we had the birthday party, then you guys were kind of like hangover, and we had like more chill days where you didn't have to do any like physical activity and stuff. And worked out.
Yeah, I haven't had vodka since. I'm pretty sure that they ruined it for me. Them two with their half shots cheating us out. I don't know if I could ever forget.
They still ended up drinking more than you guys did because they just carried on.
Yeah, they're smart. They're smarter and more strategic. They got us drunk early and they casually got drunk.
Yeah, exactly, because they were just like chilling and carrying on drinking whilst you guys were like completely done. Oh, you guys weren't completely done, but it was funny because both of them fell on their asses on my birthday. One of them in the sauna and one of them somewhere else. I don't remember where.
It was both. Yeah. He fell in the bathroom and I fell in the actual sauna.
Yeah.
Yeah, but to be fair, I was sweating like I was being judged by God himself because that guy put way too much damn water on the fucking rocks.
Oh, yeah. I mean, it was nice though. Me and Diana went to a sauna like on 23rd, like when we had the getaway, because it's been like half a year now since we got married. And then we got into a sauna, and there was also in that place like a hot tub outside, like when in the snow. That was awesome.
Nice. I know that I did want to swim down the river that y'all wouldn't let me go down, which was unfortunate. I was just gonna float on down.
Yeah, that's right. You were gonna like if we would let you, there's a very good chance that you would have floated on down. Indefinitely.
I think me and my brother are probably the worst two people to get drunk because we somehow still function. You know how most
That's not
people
so
get
bad.
drunk in yeah. I mean, I don't know. I feel like it's caused more harm than good in my life.
It does.
Like
it
if
does.
I just
it has to me as well. I'm kind of like that as well. I could be like drunk off my tits. Like I can come home drunk and then for instance, get on the stream and still drink for another 5 hours. You know what I mean? It's like once you're like completely shit faced, I can just carry on being shit faced.
Yeah, and it's bad because if I would
absolutely.
just get drunk and pass out, I would be safer that way. I wouldn't
I
do
would have
dumb
done
shit.
a lot less stupid shit as well in my life. Like a lot of my troubles and very bad decisions have been made like that.
Mediocre Sam, what's up? Yeah, it's definitely it was fun. Like I don't think that there was anything that we did I didn't want to do. Obviously, besides get out of bed the day we were hungover. But as far as seeing everything, I'm glad that we did see all that. And I felt like we made full use out of the trip. We just really could have used a longer trip.
Yeah. Because there were like several things that I still wanted to do and show you guys, but they just don't like time travel. Because we didn't like go down by the seaside. We could have easily spent, half a day around that, area and go. There's a shit ton of things to show you like that. Like, cause it's one of the things like me and my wife, we both like to kind of like do these small family day trips around the country. Like, we drive like some somewhat remote place in our country and, just go visit places and make a day of it. Because most of the thing, not all of it, because if you drive at the very end of the country, then it would kind of like need to be a 2-day trip. But I'd say most of the country we can kind of get to and back within the same day. Like we leave in the morning, let's say at like, I don't know, 9 a.m, come back home at like 7, 8 in the evening, drive for like a couple of hours. And there's tons to see. Like, I don't know if you know, but on the 23rd, for instance, day after, we went to kind of like a petting zoo type place where you could like feed the lemurs, and they had like llamas and alpacas and ostriches and emus and all sorts of different animals. Even in winter, you could feed them and interact with them, and there were some of them kind of like walking around. So we visited a place like that. Like just very, very good time. But yeah, and then also they kind of like bring you in the room.
Nice.
They give you like a bowl of food, and then a family of lemurs kind of like climb around you. They climb on your shoulder. They eat food from your hand, and they try to take away your bowl, and they kind of like play with you and stuff. That was like very cool.
I think that it was kind of neat how we could do that, because we went over there with like the understanding that we might have to get a hotel on some of the places that we go, but because everything was so relevantly closed, it kind of made it like way easier for us financially. Like we prepared for like a lot more, and we spent more money in London in a day than we did.
What did you guys
the
do
entire
in London?
Like went to go do everything. It seemed like we went out, obviously souvenir shopping broke us a bit.
Yeah.
Because we got a few things when we were at the airport leaving Riga, but nothing crazy. And then in London we got a lot of stuff, and then we also went and seen that Ferris wheel thing over there. That costed some money. Yeah.
Yeah, that kind of makes sense.
And then I think we got food. We went out and got drinks. That was fucking stupid, but definitely spent a lot.
Fair enough. You see, so it was fairly economical. But yeah, like next time you guys come, like if you want to go like by the further seaside, we probably should stay the night then. But other than that, just about everywhere. Yeah, if we leave, because my town is kind of like in the middle of the country, so I can reach most of the places again like within a day.
I am from the South, Sam. I'm from Florida. My southern drawl. Oh, man.
Whoopsie. Yeah, so I'm hoping
we'll
to
see.
get to
We'll
Germany
see what happens.
because Edward invited us over, and my wife kind of wants to go and see Germany as well. So hopefully we're gonna get to do that in summer.
Yeah, that'll be nice. Yeah, I think that we will probably come back over there. I'll be interested to see where the game's going to be at in a couple years. That's for sure.
Yeah.
I come over if you're still involved with it, and I'm at that point where I'm gonna get hooked back in. I don't want to though. I think the financial aspect of it is, especially when I looked. And like I haven't actually added it all up, but I look kind of, casually what I was spending monthly and then not spending anything monthly. I'm looking like we got some extra money. Like we could, like you just want to go buy something for no reason, So, but
yeah, I hope.
But we have to actually keep it in the bank for now.
Yeah.
I don't know how buying houses over there works. Closing costs. So when you buy a house, you have to have closing costs, and you have to have them, whatever you're going to pay them out of, you have to have it basically in your bank statements for 3 months.
Oh, fair enough.
So like it's good. We don't have to we're doing it this way so we don't have to pull anything out of savings. I don't have to pull anything out of my high interest investment account. Like we can just go based on whatever we have in our checking account.
Oh, that's awesome.
And
that's until like March, right?
Well, I don't know what we're doing yet because it's gonna be the end of March, and then that's when they're gonna be starting the whole process of getting the house finished and stuff like that. Or the construction part going. They tell me 3 to 6 months till completion, but I mean I don't know if it's gonna take that long or not, or if it's gonna be longer. I'm no expert.
The next big thing for us is start like trying to figure out a way how we can get to a house, because like it's probably not gonna be easy for us to get a loan for it, so we'll see. But yeah, now with this second job and like something coming in from YouTube, a little bit coming in from Twitch now and then, I have made a bit of money.
You're making making a couple of dollars.
Mm-hmm.
You make a few dollars off of Twitch?
Yeah, I do. The first payout was $168. Next one should be a bit more. So that's something, yeah.
Nice.
And
I mean, you're not having to do much.
Exactly. For something I just kind of like do alongside what I was doing already. It's still nice,
Do you think that they should have just went ahead and released 8 stars instead of Ascension?
Kind of.
Systematically the same thing.
Here's the thing. Ascension is 8 stars with extra steps. There's a lot in common with 8 stars. I think if they just released 8 stars, it would be less kind of like uncertain what's happening in the game. Because with this Ascension and probably 8 stars going eventually, there's like a million ways how Kabam can easily fuck us, and we're not gonna realize it till half a year later. With 8 stars, that would not be the case, because we would have objective examples and history to look back to and compare it to. You know what I mean?
Yeah, it makes sense.
There's nothing.
I didn't know how I felt about it.
there's nothing for us to compare Ascension to and the way it's going to work and how exactly, badly it's going to get monetized. And in effect, Kabam can do whatever the fuck they want, and community is not going to realize it until it's too late. Until it's like well already in play, and then you're going to realize that, you're playing against somebody who's like... Because right now, for instance, right? When you're playing a smaller account, you generally end up using, the same 7 stars, just like a rank lower, or like half your deck is rank 3s, half your deck is rank 4s, and somebody has like all the deck rank 4s and maybe a 2 rank 4 rank 5s. That is kind of like comparable point that you know where you're at, and it's actually kind of like winnable, beatable. With Ascension, it can easily turn out to be like your opponent has like, I don't know, triple the PI champions that you have, you know what I mean? There's like literally no chance for you to play. And we will not recognize it up until when that already will have started to happen. Because we have no point of reference yet.
Well, the reason systematically I see it the same way, I think that the biggest pro out of the whole scenario is like you do not lose the value of the size in your 7-star roster. You just have to hope that the champions that you really like get the Ascension.
Well,
and it's going to kind of twist your arm to ascend champions that maybe like Lady Deathstrike, like that's not going to happen for me. Like I would never take that champion
again,
to
that's exactly
the
same
full
thing that
rank.
would happen with 8 stars. You don't lose the value of your...
No, I know that. I do. That's what I mean.
Because that's exactly the same thing. 8 stars.
That's what I mean. That's what I mean. Systematically, it is the same. You were saying like you don't have anything to base it on, but we kind of do, because when 7 stars came out, like they were important. They were going into Battlegrounds decks. We were trying to get resources to rank them up, level them up. Like they held value, and then once rank 2 7 stars come, you kind of had that ascension to give value back to the 6 stars.
Why we don't have what to base it on is for different reasons. It's kind of like you didn't let me try and gather this for you to explain it the best. Number one, we don't know how fast the ascensions are going to be growing and how heavily they're going to be monetized. That's one thing, right? Because Kabam can make a brand new system. It's kind of the same thing when Kabam switched from featured hero crystals to Titan crystals. We had like no idea how well or poorly it's going to work out until it actually happened.
You're saying the rate. That makes sense.
They took away our choice. We only knew the fact that we will no longer be able to choose, where we use our 7-star shards, whether for features or for basic, because it's going to be like brand new type thing. And that was the only thing. We did not know whether it's going to work out for better or worse. Second thing with Ascensioner, this is the first time ever when Kabam is selling rank materials in the champion acquisition crystals. Because right now, the Ascension crystals, they will also function as your catalysts. And Kabam has never sold infinite amount of catalysts like they will do now. Like, right now, you get a 7-star, I don't know, Doctor Doom. What's the Doctor Doom? You get a 7-star Doctor Doom, you need to get him awakened, so you keep opening crystals. You want to get him 600, so you use him 6 stones, so you keep opening crystals. And you can take him to rank 4, for instance, right? With the catalyst that you have earned or acquired. When Ascension comes into play, you can just keep on opening the crystals. You're going to get more Ascension materials, and whatever Ascension Kabam has unlocked, you can carry on opening on getting all the Ascension dust and materials, and you can rank it up. So Ascension system is effectively combining champion, Valiant crystals together with, let's say, tier 7 basic, tier 4 alpha crystals. You know what I mean? And sell infinite amount of them. Kabam has never sold infinite rank of material up until Ascension. Up until this Ascension comes in. So obviously I'm not saying that there will be many or any players who do that, but theoretically speaking, like you get this champion as a 7-star and you're gonna awaken him on opening crystals again until you dupe him enough times to ascend him to the highest rank possible. Kabam has never once done that before.
So does that mean that potentially the gap between casual spenders and the way up rails
Absolutely. I mean,
are going to
imagine
be
right
like
now,
ripped
rank 5
wide
is
open.
the highest rank. Exactly. So imagine right now, rank 5 is the highest level of rank up, right? Imagine if you earned 1/4 of tier 5 alpha every time you dupe a new feature champion. That was the same thing basically.
Right. So even you got people out there that have crazy amount of rank ups already, and then they're prioritizing their rank 5s to champions that are ascendable. So yeah, it's just gonna it does have potential to kind of break the game in a way.
Yeah, exactly. And we're not even gonna really and at this point we have nothing else to do but quote unquote trust Kabam, because we don't have a reference point. We don't know how good or bad Kabam is going to be with this, how heavily they're going to monetize, how much it's going to matter, what the impact of the game is going to be. None of these things we know.
And all the top tiers from BG will never be ascendable until the 8 stars arrive. That's more than likely true, but I would say that it could be a weird scenario there, like where you're in a generic meta and you have the general better battlegrounds champions, but you go up against somebody that has their champions ascended. They're not the greatest, but because they're all ascended and you're chipping away at bigger health pools and stuff, that becomes kind of an issue. That was my worry with collections also. They have not talked about that since they originally did, and I'm really
because they can take it any way they want. They can make it barely relevant, or they can make it game changing. You know what I mean?
It's a part of the reason why the timeline of me wanting to, I think it's a good timeline for me to get out, especially before all that stuff comes, because that's going to be kind of like the twisting of the arm for FOMO to just try to kind of keep up in the top, you know what I mean? Because I don't put in the time, so the spending has always kind of closed that gap for me. As far as having the advantage helps. I mean, you've addressed it several times. It's the point of the point of spending a ton of money is to have more champions ranked up. I mean, realistically, you can only fit 30 in the deck, so you just kind of get to lucratively spend your catalyst however you like. But the ascendable thing, I don't want to be in a scenario where I'm like, well, I got to get this, where I looked at. So there was that deal over this past weekend that had the tier 5 alpha in it. And if I would have bought it, all of it would have been $160. It would have gave me enough to have, it'll give me enough tier 5 to where when we clear the solo Coliseum, I'd be able to get another rank 5 just from that. So, I thought about it, and I'm like, this is part of the reason why I want to leave the game, because it's only going to get worse. That's one aspect, but the whole Ascension thing that's a whole nother monster, like you said, that we have no idea.
Exactly. So again, at this point, because so fuck yeah, I'd much rather have 8-star, because with the 8-star model they would never be able to, for instance, sneak in tier 5 alphas and tier 7 basics and whatever else catalyst they need in the next version of Valiant Crystals, for instance. With Ascension, they just kind of did it and everybody's chill with it, because nobody knows what it means.
Yeah, they don't. And in collection, I don't know how they're gonna do collections, but they have to have it in a way where when you get these boosts per class, that they basically show up in the boost section. You remember Battlegrounds had that issue where people were boosting and it was activating in Battlegrounds.
Yeah.
So they figured out a way to stop that. So they're gonna, so what if that happens? That could be another thing that could be really frustrating to people that have these. It's with Ascension and Collections, if they both come within the next 6 months and they do that, then it's gonna be an extremely unfair advantage for those that spend a ton of money. But the people that spend a ton of money will get their money's worth, which they feel like they haven't been. So I don't know. That's a weird kind of scenario there. You don't spend $100,000 on a video game in a year and not expect some sort of special treatment or some compared to someone that spent $2,000. You know what I mean?
And, you know, that's part of Capon's business. They need to be able to kind of like thread the needle or manage, you know, the competitive advantage from money spending to other people's ability to play the game and actually, you know, interact with you. Because like if you spend 100 grand a year on the game and, for instance, enter the Battlegrounds match and it's an auto win, it's not fun for the players that you're crushing, and it's, you know, maybe it's gonna be fun for you for a while, but, you know, everybody is gonna look at you as like, oh, you know, fuck that guy, and that shouldn't like be great for you either. You probably like it for a while, but, you know, it wouldn't be good for either party involved, I'd argue.
Part of me thinks that was their big plan behind the top 30, so that they can keep people to continue spending.
Of course it was.
Because if you only have to rank up 5,
like, look at what they're doing now. That's probably going to be another video I make quite soon, because all the champions that they have released in like released or updated in like last 2 months are top 30 prestige. Take a look at so that's just fucked up. I'm already sick and fucking tired of it. But take a look at this. So, what do we have? 2 new champions coming out this month. We have Blue Marvel, number 4, Baku, number 28 for top 30, right? Star-Lord Forged, number 25.
Yeah.
That's brand new recent. Doctor Strange, one of the more recent additions. 21. J. John Jameson, month prior to that. 17. Heimdall buff, number 13. Fuck. They're already going like way too fast for this shit. You see, like these are literally all the recent champions and champion buffs. All are within top 30. We have again Blue Marvel, number 4. Pavitra came out very recently.
And the Titan goes so slow.
Yeah. And Pavitra came out very recently. He's only just entering Titan. He's number 9. Heimdall is a new buff. He's number 13. J. John Jameson, brand new champion, number 17. Blizzard's relatively new. It's number 20. Doctor Strange is a brand new, number 21. Imperiosa is last idol. All the other idol champions are somehow whatever prestige. This one's number 22. Thor Jane Foster, newly buffed prestige, top 30 in the banquet event. Stellar Star-Lord, Star-Lord Stellar Forge, number 25. Valkyrie, brand new 7-star. Okay, she was always kind of high prestige, fair enough, but still 30. Baku. So out of the current top 30 champions, like 4 months ago, how many of them existed in the game? 1, 2, 3.
Them buffing Doctor
4,
Strange prestige is kind of
5,
crazy.
6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 17. 13 out of the top 30 champions didn't exist in this game 3 months ago. In 3 months, they have added 13 top 30 prestige. Fuck them. Like, honestly, fuck them.
Yep. I mean, at this point, like, being in an alliance prestige is definitely stressful, because you gotta like hoard your catalyst until the Titan rolls over, and then hopefully you get all the new champs
and all that other stuff. Yeah, I mean, like,
and 6 stones you can't even really hoard.
Yeah.
You could hoard class stones, kind of, but you can only hoard like, what is it, like 125 for generics, and that's horrible. They gotta definitely update that. They expire after like 14 days.
Mm-hmm.
There was like, I seen a couple people in my alliance that were waiting to claim the tier 5 compensation, like where you pulled tier 5 from the banquet and you ended up getting the 6 stones. They were basically not claiming it until it was about to expire, so that the 6 stones would last longer, that they could invest them into the new champs.
What's up, Vibe with Joy? How are you doing, by the way?
What time is it? Oh, I gotta go anyways. I will catch you around. I gotta go call the wife.
Alright, see you, buddy. Hey, whoops. 1 second. Oh, wait, I mean, good. Oh, wait, I shouldn't have done this. Ah, well. It's fine. So we're back here, grinding for more units. How many units are we at? Okay. How many? 9,788. I mean, that's a fairly decent chunk of units, if you ask me. A fairly decent chunk of units, considering I spent all of them in the bunker joint. I'm gonna get 750 units tomorrow. I'm so dead. Yep. Fuck you. Fuck you, buddy. I hate it. I hate the fact that people are using 5-star of this guy and 4-star in the current BGMet. 13k units? Well, you're well ahead of me. But then again, you do grind 4-star, you know, much more than I do. Not bad, though. Yeah, tomorrow 750 units from Radiance. Damn straight. What's up, Sammy? How you doing? Oh, then. Nullify my furies, I dare you. Wait, you're not awakened. Oh no, wait, he now nullifies even unawakened, right? That sounds that rank 1 triggers deathmatch in arena? I mean, it was bound to happen sooner or later. Because it's all based on like the average kind of like team level in there. I don't use Sensor rank once in a arena though. That's the joys of having a veteran account. I have like a whole bunch of like, you know, rank 3s and rank 2s. Don't remember last time I kind of like went through a 7-star roster in arena. I didn't know how many points it would put up now. think once for science. Check that out. Find out how many points I get using all my 7 stars. I genuinely have no clue right now. But we certainly have grinded for a little while now. Let's get at least. And then I'm gonna largely have the 4-star arena to do at some point. And I'm not gonna have too much time to get this arena. Oh. Cause yeah, tomorrow we're gonna have a day of Coliseum. We're gonna have to grind out. Start with a solo. I'm gonna start with solo Coliseum probably. Pokemon buffed everybody except Thor. I don't know. Pokemon hates Thor, I guess. I mean, I hope Kabam buffs Thor at some point soon. That'd be awesome. I miss using OG Thor. I really enjoyed that once upon a time. It is going to. I mean, I hope so. I really do. Is 9.4 coming? April. Not next month, the month after. Can we get to 10,000 units? Or can't we? Can we? Or can't we? Did I claim this? I can't claim this. 10 more units. It adds up. 2 of these crystals. It all adds up, lads. Nice. Can we get a new 5-star? I don't know. I don't think there's many that I'm missing, but nope. Nine, 8, 3, 7. Got 2 of these. Come on. 70 units. Okay. 9907. Can you get? Yeah, sure, whatever. Well, come on then. 15. So that's something. Ah. 60. Noise. No. now that I have started grinding more arena, I'm also much more kind of like careful where I spend my units. You know what I mean? I really don't want like, oh fuck off, really? I was already celebrating. I was like, surely we got our 10k. Thank God. 997. Oh, you cock tease, you. Ha! 10,000 units. Yeah. Oh, and we got 20 from this. Sweet. Very happy with that. And we got to 10k. But that'll be it for this evening stream. I hope you guys enjoyed it. I will be back tomorrow morning, tomorrow midday, tomorrow at some point. We'll have 2 streams tomorrow, minimum. We're gonna stream Valorant probably in the daytime, and then we're gonna do the solo Coliseum first, maybe Alliance Coliseum as well. Definitely stay tuned for that. Meanwhile, hit all the good buttons, and I'll catch you guys soon. Bye bye. Why I what? Overworld. Why I what now?